Was I jumping the gun a bit when I gave my opinion on Raheem Sterling possibly coming to Manchester United yesterday? This is Rev United TV. We have got 2 days left of the transfer window, and we have got a shed load of, let's just say, possibles to talk about this morning. Raheem Sterling, Jadon Sancho is top of the agenda. Update on Lindelof as well. It is Manuel Ugarte Day. We're expecting the full announcement and official pictures and what comes with that and everything around around Carrington today, probably more. Welcome to the wilderness. Welcome to, is it now the Dorset coast again? I keep forgetting where we're actually at, but yes, we are streaming live from outside in the middle of the countryside, talking Manchester United transfers. Like I said, with 2 days left of the window and so much more to get through, and looks like there's so much more to actually, so much more that's going to actually happen before this window finishes. So please do give the video a like. Plenty of you are already doing that. I love that. Thank you, everybody. Let's get the likes over 1,000 again. I can actually see your chat today. I've worked out a little system out here in the gardens where I can actually see what you guys are saying right now. I have put a poll up. I'm testing your mettle with the Raheem Sterling situation and what's happening there. We've got a poll up running right now, so get involved in that. If you are catching up later, the poll reads, would you take Raheem Sterling if it meant getting rid of Jadon Sancho? That is the question that is out there on the poll this morning. And it is close. It's closer than close. Closer than you ever can imagine. I didn't... Well, do you know what? After the reaction I got, I kind of did expect that poll to be that way. Please do hit that subscribe button as well, everybody. Make sure that you miss no Manchester United content, no free Manchester United content, which comes to you in floods daily, 3 times a day at least. We had 4 yesterday because it was Here We Go yesterday. Here We Go day. And I think we're going to get some possible big news today. Sancho is the one that everybody's talking about, but the word on player on everybody's lips right now is the possibility of the man coming the opposite way in Jadon Sancho leaving Manchester United, and that is Raheem Sterling. All the talk, everything that's going on is about Dan Ashworth really being on board with Raheem Sterling coming to Manchester United. Now, you all heard my reaction yesterday, and I'll admit, in my just getting ready to go out technology meltdown that I had yesterday, then looking at the news that Raheem Sterling is coming to Manchester United, I was sort of I was in a very reactional mood, let's just put it that way. So I've slept on it. I've had time to think about it. I still would rather have someone else come in to Manchester United. I know what Sterling brings. I know the qualities that he did have, and I've still got in some departments. My worry and my concern is obviously about the costings and what's going on with getting rid of one player that's not been wanted at a big football club and another player coming in the opposite way. Slightly different circumstances. I will give Sterling the benefit of doubt on that one there. But as far as everything is going right now, Juventus and Manchester United were, let's just say, in position A yesterday, early doors. We're talking this time yesterday, it looked like Juventus were favourites. Romano was talking up Juventus. Damashef, even Cave as well on Sky was talking up Juventus' opportunities. Damasio, pretty much everybody was saying that Juventus are far down the line, but still no agreement in place. And while there's no agreement in place, there's always the possibility that something else can crop up and change, let's just say, the club or the player's mind. Now, Sterling, I don't think he's going to have a problem living in Chelsea, down there in London. I think it's a nice lifestyle for people that are overpaid and got more money than sense to spend. And he fits right in down there. I think Chelsea would offer him similar to what wages he's on right now, maybe a bit less, but probably the best offer contractually for Jadon Sancho on the table will be from Chelsea. We know the financial situation that's at Juventus. Juventus are trying to sting United, I feel. And the noise is coming out and the rumours coming out at the moment from the Juventus side of things. And they're not done. They're not out of the race, Juventus, by any stretch of the imagination. But they are not happy to pay Jadon Sancho's wages and not happy to put the obligation to buy at the end of that loan offer that they're giving United. It's not going to happen. United are not going to let Jadon Sancho go and then come back again. Why have one problem and then create another one by having to deal with exactly the same thing the following transfer window next summer? It's not going to happen with Manchester United. United's new regime, new structure, Dan Ashworth, I think he was at the forefront of most of what's going on right now as United's director of football. And welcome to the Lions' Den, by the way, Dan Ashworth. First summer in at Manchester United, and whoa, yes, thrown in at the deep end. But no, Dan Ashworth isn't going to go for a loan with option to buy. He's not going to go with United paying towards Jadon Sancho's wages. He wants him off the books. It's as simple as that. If Jadon Sancho is to come, is to leave Manchester United, it will be on United's terms. It will be with a permanent deal in place, either for next season after the loan, or he goes this season. And this is why I don't think now, with what's being reported and what Juventus are still offering, that this is going to happen. Now, obviously, Chiesa is right now he's in talks with Liverpool. And here's a question I want to ask you guys. We're talking and we're actually, and as I look at the actual poll right now regarding Sancho over Sterling, so would you take Sterling if it meant getting rid of Jadon Sancho? And we've got over 600 votes on this already. Keep voting, guys. I'm going to run this all the way through the stream this morning. 56% of you are saying no, 44% of you are saying yes. So there is a clamour. If I switched that around and said, would you swap Chiesa for Jadon Sancho, would you change your mind? Because a lot of people said that they don't want Chiesa. He is, 3 years younger than what Raheem Sterling is. He has done what Raheem Sterling has done, pretty much in falling off a little bit. And he is going to now Liverpool, a club that is above us in the league in a miles better position. Should we not be looking at Chiesa and trying to make that deal work with Juventus rather than Sterling and Chelsea? You know where I'm going with it. I'm just throwing out another option out there because everybody took off the Chiesa one and said no. And it was quite a resounding no. I can remember back to the poll and the show that we actually did with swapping Chiesa and Jadon Sancho. And not many people were actually on for it. So why all of a sudden is this so close with Raheem Sterling? Am I missing something with Raheem Sterling here? Look, when you break the player down and where we're at right now with the negotiations are Sterling wants to come. Chelsea want to offload him to United, and they're happy to take Jadon Sancho. Sancho's actually going to cost them less in wages than what Raheem Sterling is. Let that sink in. That is just mental, because we were always going on about an overpaid prima donna in Jadon Sancho. So they've got the younger player and maybe a different bit of scenery, and it works out well. This is always the fear factor, isn't it? Jadon Sancho goes to Chelsea and smashes it, and we get Raheem Sterling, who can't get in United's side, and it looks like we were done over. Look, as it is right now, Zamashev and Have from Sky are saying the same thing as what Romano is. Dan Ashworth, he's on board with bringing Raheem Sterling into Manchester United. This now looks like the most likely outcome for the Jadon Sancho saga. United are working on the Sancho situation in terms of loan with obligation to buy or permanent deal with Chelsea. Chelsea's issue right now in this is what they owe Raheem Sterling. Apparently, according to reports, in bonuses and salary, because he's still got a big contract there, it's 70 million what they owe Raheem Sterling. How do you get around that? I don't know how a club could get themselves in that situation. I thought United were bad, and this is where PSR and financial fair play creep in with Chelsea. Like, how are they getting away with this? How is this actually happening to another club in the same league as us? And we're having to scrimp and scrape and trying to get deals over the line. Oh, I just don't know. But that is a story going around. And if you put in the bonuses, this is all if everything is met by Raheem Sterling. So obviously that 70 million is going to come down. But if you add his wages up and you add his bonuses up and what he could achieve at Chelsea owe him 70 million. And that's what Raheem Sterling people will be pushing on board. And we thought it was bad in dealing with 5 million for Wan-Bissaka. I mean, 70 million? Oh, that's like nearly triple the value of the player is what Chelsea actually owe him in wages. Whoa, you can see why some Chelsea fans have lost the plot in terms of how that football club is being run right now. But that is astronomical. Let's get into some of your chat on this one. Now, I'm actually happy I can see some of your chat actually on my screen. I would happily take Chiesa. Honestly, he works hard plus controls himself to the public. It's a toxic side is why I want Sancho to go. We're going to be taking Chelsea cats off every transfer window now, says Tom. We should just get Tony. Not Sterling, he's finished. We need a finisher. Everyone else we got up top. We got up Anywhere else we got up top need 5 chances to put one away. Sorry about that. Yeah, I do get I get the vibe in the chat actually saying that, you know what, we do probably need a striker more than another winger. Some people came back at me yesterday and saying, well, can we get someone better than Marcus Rashford? I'm sick of watching Marcus Rashford actually come into the side week in, week out after underperforming. Is Raheem Sterling going to start ahead of Marcus Rashford? It's down to Ten Hag. It's very debatable right now. Ten Hag obviously loves Marcus Rashford and is giving him every single opportunity to prove his point. And a manager in a situation where Ten Hag is in and the pressure he is under, if he can prove that he is right about Marcus Rashford, it goes a long way to actually fighting his cause and staying at Manchester United, doesn't it? So Sterling, I don't think he's going to get in on the left. Realistically, when you've got Garnacho and Rashford, then you're looking at Sterling not getting in there at all. He's got the experience and he's got the winning mentality. That's what he has got fighting his corner, Raheem Sterling. But still, I look at the reality of what Ten Hag has done so far and how he's been with players. Ahmad hasn't signed his contract yet. Is he going to see his arse if Raheem Sterling starts creeping in on the right-hand side and plays there? I mean, that's where you would normally expect Raheem Sterling to play anyway. So is he taking away the more opportunities for Garnacho and Ahmad in this? Is it going to cause a bit of a problem? Personally, I don't think that... And it was interesting listening to what Troy Deeney said last night in regards to Raheem Sterling being better than anything that Manchester United have got at the club right now. I disagree. I mean, in terms of when you look at his career on paper, yes. He has got how many, 4 Premier League titles or something like that? Umpteen trophies and medals. How many caps for England? Experience beyond belief at the highest level. This, like some people have said, could come in, and Deeney said the same thing last night. He could come in and be that influence and that sort of role model for younger players at Manchester United coming through. Let's not forget, we've got some cracking young players coming through the ranks at the moment as well, as the likes of Garnacho and Ahmad. Hoyland in there as well. Xerxes, he could benefit. They could all benefit from Raheem Sterling being there. I get that. I do. And I want to fight both corners, as I always do on Forever United TV. I just look at it and go, what's his wages going to be? How are we going to settle that? He's going to have to drop his wages by more than half to come to Manchester United. And if Dan Ashworth can make that happen and get an experienced forward in as extra cover up top when we need it. And he does score goals, Sterling. He has got goals in him. I just feel like the way that Chelsea have gone about business is probably not suited him. The amount of players that are coming in, they're chopping and changing constantly. Obviously, you had João Felix coming in, knocking him out of place last season. Obviously, the season before, on loan. Or was it last season before? I can't remember where Felix came in. Obviously, he's coming again now. But still, like, there's been many people come in when they didn't really need to with Raheem Sterling being there and probably dislodged him. And the running of the football club hasn't helped anyone at Chelsea. So you could say that has disrupted everything going on. We just got a couple of updates coming in. Manuel Ugarte in Manchester as he landed overnight. Plan confirmed, medical today. That's from Fabrizio Romano. That is going to be Manuel Ugarte Day. We have a super chat in from You Got Roz. Juve are messing us around. Also, our options are them taking part of his salary on loan with no obligation to buy or bloody Sterling. Seriously, says You Got Roz. I ain't going to buckle. And I don't think Dan Ashworth or Man United or Omar Barada or anyone at the football club is going to buckle to Juventus' demands. I see the Sterling and Sancho thing happening from this point. I do. I feel like I don't know what. I mean, guys, you tell me, what sort of contract would you give a 29-year-old Raheem Sterling? He doesn't fit the model. And I think this is where I was sort of taken aback yesterday in terms of it's not the profile of player that Dan Ashworth and Manchester United have been going for. It's not the type of player that we have looked at all summer. Everyone has been 25 and under in terms of what we've recruited. I understand that. I know we're looking for the future. I feel like we have got 2 players there that were probably the best in the country. And in that being in Rashford and Raheem Sterling, and are now struggling. They are struggling. Just reading through some other news. Yep. I'm going to come to that one in a minute. That one put a smile back on my face this morning, I'm telling you. And you probably already know what I mean by that. But at least it's just rumours. Nothing definite yet. But when it comes to Sterling, again, just to round up this sort of debate, look, he has got qualities. He will bring qualities to Manchester United. I agree with what Troy Deeney said in terms of the experience and helping the younger lads and everything like that. But that contract is what I'll be looking at and what I'll be interested in, because it could disrupt the whole sort of structure of what Ineos have implemented so far. If it's on their terms, then I can't see anything more than a 3-year contract. I can't see anything more than 200 grand a week wages. And that sounds ridiculous on its own. And I feel like Jadon Sancho going the other way, Chelsea are going to have to give us some money as well. Personally, that's how I think Ineos are looking at it. I feel like, we're going to take Sterling and bring him in and get rid of Sancho, who's offering us nothing. Sterling's going to be on less wages than what Sancho was this season. We get a little bit of money off Chelsea as well. Then I think United have probably won in that situation. But it has to happen that way. Because you could look at what we've spent for Manuel Ugarte and say again, look, we've recouped some of that money back in bringing in Sterling, who some would say is better than Sancho, and getting rid of Jadon Sancho. So that's a player who's offered us nothing in Jadon Sancho leaving. Another player in Sterling coming in that's going to offer us more, and money in as well, which we can offset again alongside PSR. You start to think like this is a proper draft day film situation this right now, and Ineos are pulling off all sorts of deals here, there and everywhere that really do suit Manchester United. But honestly, there is so much more that can happen with this, and there's so much more to come, I feel. But yeah, I do get excited about things like this and how they're going to structure a deal and make it work for Manchester United. So I think that's the intriguing side of things. If it comes in, I mean, guys, straight away, I just put a simple yes or no. If we got Sterling on less wages than what Jadon Sancho's on right now, and we got money, and Sancho went the other way, would you be all right with that deal? The fact that we've got a player in for nothing and earned more money and less wages, would you take that deal? When you look at it that way, it's hard to turn it down. We have nearly 1,900 people in the room with us, guys. Only 350 likes. That should be near at least 600-700 likes, everyone. Please, if you haven't already, give the video a like in the chat and make sure that you have subscribed to Forever United TV. We are out live on location in the sticks right now, bringing you Manchester United breaking transfer news and what's going on with the football club. Manuel Ugarte is in Manchester. Romano has just confirmed that. I just read that out. Then we're expecting a Manuel Ugarte day and official announcement later on today. We are also looking at the possibilities that Scott McTominay is going to be announced as a Napoli player today. Scott McTominay said his goodbyes to the club yesterday. United gave him permission to travel to Napoli to complete medical and obviously sign his new deal over there in Italy alongside Romelu Lukaku. Reunited over in Napoli, them two. Oh, there's a Jose. That's a Jose sort of day, sort of vibe to that one, isn't it? Lukaku and McTominay. Whoa, they are proper. Jose is going to absolutely be kicking himself that Napoli have got them two players. He'd have loved them two players in his club right now. But it is where it is right now, this window, which is on, which is on the edge. And there's so much that could actually happen. I think Chelsea have actually approached Brentford for Ivan Toney as well, I was hearing yesterday, because Osimhen is just too much money. I mean, there was a story going around from Andy Mitten the other day that United went to Napoli last season to try and get Osimhen, and they quoted him, I think it was 105 million to take him away. Sorry. It's just ludicrous, absolutely ludicrous. But hey, at least we made good connections with Napoli in them discussions, maybe, and now we've managed to sell them Scott McTominay. So let's get into the chat quickly on all of these subjects right now. With what Chelsea owe Sterling, says Terry. I did talk about that. 70 million apparently in bonuses and wages to get rid of Raheem Sterling. It's mental, isn't it? Let me just see now. The only reason Sancho hasn't worked is because of Sancho, Mr. C says. I agree with that one. Chelsea are getting top 4 off the back of one win against Wolves. I see what you're saying. It was impressive, but they can explode and turn up at the same time, Chelsea. And you just don't know what's going to happen. But look, Game against Liverpool on Sunday is massive for United simply because we cannot fall too far behind. We have to stay in touch at least and try and pick up some form throughout the season. The more, like you said, you don't lose the race for positions. So you don't win the race for positions in the first 2 months of the season, but you can definitely lose it. And all of the times that United have had shocking starts to a season, we have always failed to make top 4. Constantly, every single time. We just can't catch up because we haven't got that 5 or 6 game-winning run in us. And that's the difference this time right now. Whether we can find that, whether we can be a bit more consistent this season, I think time will tell. Will Sterling add to that? Good question. Let's see where the poll is actually at right now. We have over 1,400 votes on the poll. Would you take Sterling if it meant getting rid of Jadon Sancho? If you have just joined the show, we have put this poll up from the start of this stream just to test where everything is, because I went in a bit strong last night. I've slept on it. I want to give everyone the right opportunity. A few people have called me out, which is fair. I love that on this channel. People came back at me yesterday with Sir Matt Busby, used to play for Manchester City. Because I just said, look, I don't even know if I'm comfortable with a City and a Liverpool player coming to United. It doesn't sit right with me. Look, I'm always there to be convinced and proved wrong. You know that, guys. And I'll always hold my hands up if I've been proved wrong. But most people came back and went, Sir Matt Busby did it. He played at City. But I just answered back, like, the game has changed. Football was worth more, I think, back in the days. And it's a different world right now. And you know the stick that Manchester United would get and the stick that I would get when it comes to a City and a Liverpool player coming. You already know the banter that's coming. So while I'm there to be hit at in the limelight, it's all right for everyone else to just stay quiet and walk away from the situation. I'm going to get it big time by all my sort of rival fans and other rival channels and everything like that regarding the situation with United taking a former Liverpool and City player. I said it last night. There's a pub quiz question later, 20 years down the time. Which player played within a 10-year period for City, Liverpool and Manchester United? There's not many. Okay. When you play Manchester United, you don't play for. When you play for United, you don't play for City. It says Kaze. Let's see what else we've got. Yep, everyone's saying the same thing about Matt Busby. I got it. World is different, guys. That's just how I see it right now. I just don't think it's the same game. I think it meant more back then than what it does right now for that sort of situation. Sancho for Lavia says, Wayne, tell that to Tevez. It won't happen. Okay, but still, that is the close. Was I expecting the poll to be that close? I really don't know. I think you convince yourself, and this always happens in a transfer window. You do convince yourself that a player is right, and you can be that club that rediscover that player, and he's going to turn up for you and be the player that he was back in the day when everyone was ranting and raving about him. But I don't know. We'll see anyway. But we have other news to talk about. Obviously, we touched on Agate and Scott McTominay there as well. Now then, this is the one that I was getting excited about. And it's nowhere near anything. It's just a story going around at the moment. But there's a possibility that Lazio could be coming in for Victor Lindelof. Oh, music to my ears. Lindelof leaving Manchester United. That would be... If you got rid of Sancho and Lindelof right now from this window, I'm talking 10 out of 10 for a transfer window. Absolute nailed it. If Lindelof leaves United, and it's Damasio who said this, Lazio are looking to strengthen their backline, and Damasio has come out and said that they have made contact or are looking to ignite contact and negotiations with Manchester United for the Swedish captain, centre-back, the man himself, Victor Lindelof. If this happened and United got money for Lindelof, we got rid of everyone else that we said. There's not one person who can complain. When you're talking the deadwood of Manchester United and the deadwood issue and that topic that comes up continuously day after day after day, every single conversation in the pub, in the stands, online, in debates, on shows like mine and everything like that, the deadwood, and who you categorise as deadwood players. If you got rid of Lindelof now, then what are you talking left? Maguire and Rashford come into that conversation about deadwood. I mean, Rashford's our did have the opportunity of being our all-time leading goal scorer. There is hardly anyone left. So the debate, whether Sir Jim Ratcliffe's setup and Ineos and everything that's going on with United right now would be dead, surely. If Lindelof left this summer, and in the first transfer window, Manchester United managed to get rid of Brandon Williams, Martial, Victor Lindelof, Scott McTominay, Mason Greenwood, Jadon Sancho, Aaron Wan-Bissaka in their first window, then you have got no argument about where Manchester United are going and what they're focusing on. And Ineos are the right outfit to take Manchester United forward. It has been put to bed, well and truly, and you can't even debate it. I'm going to get into some of your chats on this. Would you love to see Lindelof go? Am I being harsh again? Shoot me down if you want. I'm just going to run through the latest chats. You got UK Strange, sorry. I'd rather Sancho and Rashford both leave this window. Seasoned pro Adam, yes to Sterling, says David. I get it, David. Jim says, if that happens, I'll throw a party and everyone's invited to Australia. Is that on Lindelof? I'm coming. I'll tell Kaz we're getting the flights. We're going to celebrate Lindelof leaving by going to Australia. Lindelof, on average, is actually worse than Maguire. Yep, I agree with that. Honestly, I'd say every single time, if you had to give me Lindelof or Maguire, it's Maguire all day long. Maguire all day long. I think he's got better leadership skills. You can debate everything about him, how slow he is, what he's good at, what he's not good at. But look, this guy stood last season, didn't leave. I wasn't happy about it. But he fought for his place and he was vital for United last season. He really was. And I just feel like he is a player there that understands what it takes to be a United player. And that goes a long way. I think Scott McTominay understands what it is to be a United player. But you can also look at them not being the right quality of player to be a United player. And I think that's probably overtaken the argument. And that's probably been the one side of the debate that's probably stood out more. At the end of the day, you can have the right attitude. You can have the right work rate. But if you haven't got the quality, in the end, you end up getting found out. And I think that's what's happened with the likes of Maguire and McTominay. And it's why the club have found it difficult to get rid of them. And it's been difficult, and it's been a difficult decision. We know this. The United are reluctant sellers. They don't want to sell Maguire. They don't want to sell McTominay. But if the right offer come around, then yes, there are obviously priorities elsewhere in terms of who we want to get rid of and who United need to get rid of. But them two, if you ask the club, standout professionals, and everybody loves them at the club. And you know what? That does go a long way. When you've got a good vibe in and everybody's getting on well, you definitely are. You definitely have got the right mentality of player. Sometimes the skill lacks, and in the end of the day, that will always prevail, I'm afraid. United, and why it's so difficult in the transfer market to get the right player, and why you need a recruitment team, because you look into everything about that player. I'm sure that we'll be looking into the history of Manuel Ugarte, the misdemeanors, everything that could possibly have happened that's gone wrong. It's like when we had the craziness when we bought Marcus Rojo. The guy was in trouble with the police and all sorts, and we still went in for him. Right now, it just feels like whenever there's a player being linked with United and United are talking to someone, we are going down the right lines and we are discussing and asking the right questions and making sure that every single player that's come in is under the age of 25, like just turned 25 in Matthias de Ligt. We could let that one slide. Oh, sorry, I think Mazraoui's 26, but he was only 14 million. So really, it's like bargain of the... I think Mazraoui is going to be signing of the season. I'll say that now right at the start. Out of every single club, looking at what I've seen so far, I think he could be the signing of the season. The way he started the season and where he's playing, the price, how United got him. Like, honestly, I feel like that is an upgrade on Wan-Bissaka, and United will reap the rewards of having a player like Mazraoui in the side. But yeah, just to go over everything that we've talked about so far for people who are just joining. Guys, get them likes up. Let's get up near 700 live likes, please, people. We're well over 500 already. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Over 2,000 people in the room watching live. Early morning in the sticks, talking United transfers. Give the video a like, people. So, we are talking Sancho. We are talking Sterling. Where we're at right now is Juventus' demands have fallen way short of where United are at and now being pushed into the conversation with Chelsea for Raheem Sterling and a possible swap deal. The deal for Sterling will only happen if it works on United's terms. So whereas it looks, and the argument against Sterling, and obviously a 29-year-old coming into Manchester United, not the profile of player that United wants, or not what we have really been looking for. If United can get rid of Sancho, Sterling comes in on less wages than Jadon Sancho, and United take money off Chelsea for this deal, then I think we're looking good, because this is a possibility and could actually happen, because he's older, he's got less sell-on value. So if United have got anything about them and Dan Ashworth's on his game, then United will be asking for money, Sancho going the other way, and Sterling on less wages. If Sterling wants to come to United and play for us, than what Jadon Sancho was. And I think that's a win-win. That I would definitely be on board with. I can understand that deal. If he's on anything more than Jadon Sancho, and he's on some stupid long contract, and United don't get any money for Jadon Sancho in this, because let's be honest, Sancho has got a future. Whether you like him or not, he could turn up at Chelsea and tear it apart. And United need to be aware of this. He has got another, He's got another 5 years on Raheem Sterling and where he's at in his development. That's worth gold in the Premier League. That's worth gold in professional football. So really, you're looking at that and going, if that happens and we do get money and Sancho gone and Sterling comes in on less than what Sancho was on, go for it. Make it happen, Dan. I can't really disagree or argue with that. I think it's very, very clever football business. He's not my ideal pick. I won't go near Sterling personally. I've said that already. I do understand the qualities that the player brings, though. And a lot of what Troy Deeney was saying is definitely right in that video that's gone about and been recircled again. So I have to be honest with myself and say, yeah, whereas I don't like the idea of the move, I understand the football business side of it, and I understand the experience and quality of player that Sterling was and still has got. His career isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. It came as a bit of a shock all of a sudden, and it has come about because Juventus are trying to rip United off for Sancho. And you know what? I would walk away from Juventus right now. I'd take the Sterling deal over the Juventus one, personally. Only if it was on our terms, like I just said then. But hey, we'll see if United do manage to get that deal over the line and done. Interesting couple of days coming up. Agate is in Manchester. Scott McTominay is due to arrive in Napoli. We're expecting full official announcements on them players today. Agate will be registered in time and be available. He will be training with the Manchester United squad, possibly today, in part, and definitely tomorrow. And will 100% be ready to go for Liverpool. I don't think he'll start, but still, he is there and will be probably in the matchday squad, I'm guessing. Maybe on the bench, and we may even see him. Lindelof to Lazio. Yes, please. Damasio has come out overnight and this morning, and there are rumours that Lazio are interested and looking to open talks with United to take the Swedish international over to Italy. That would be fantastic news for United. And in a season of looking to get rid of Deadwood, would be an absolute 10 out of 10 so far for their first summer in charge in EOS at United. It has been an absolute whirlwind of a transfer window so far. And 2 more days left of it. I don't think it's going to disappoint. I really do think that United are going to do more business. And it's going to be really interesting to see what happens. Let's just go over the poll quickly. We're about to hit 2,000 votes on the poll. Everyone just give a quick vote on the poll if you haven't already. Would you take Sterling if it meant getting rid of Sancho? I put that out at the start of the show just to gauge where everyone was at, because I get a little bit of a backlash from me, what I said last night. I've slept on it, like I said, and I can see the merit in the Sterling deal. But right now, 44% of you have said you would take Raheem Sterling if it meant getting rid of Jadon Sancho. 56% obviously saying no. So it's close. There is a lot of call for bringing Raheem Sterling through the door. So really, looking at that, I would say, do you know what? Dan Ashworth will sort of gauge this. The fan sort of reaction to it as well. They're looking to everything. I think they see merit in bringing Sterling in to Manchester United. I'm going to end that poll there. 2,000 votes. Wow. And it has just closed in on 55%. Amazing. Thank you, everybody, for voting on the poll. And yeah, that is the show finished, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate all of the likes. We've got over 600 likes. Any new subscribers in, welcome to Forever United TV. If you aren't a subscriber, 50% of you, according to YouTube, are not. Make sure you hit that subscribe button, bell notification button next to it, and you'll be notified of all breaking news coming out with United, because I've got you covered here on Forever United TV. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. I will see you all later on. There may not be a video this lunchtime because me and Kaz are on our break and we're probably going to be mooching around a bit, having a bit of an holiday day today. But if anything does break, obviously we'll be talking about it and we'll be covering it on Forever United TV. So keep an eye out for midday. Definitely back this evening with a full live show again with maybe a different location. Try and mix it up for you guys, but that's it for now. Cheers, everybody. I will see you all later on. Have a fantastic day. Keep your eyes peeled. I think United are going to do more business.